It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both.
Hello and good evening. It's time for Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show, there's lots lined up for you today. What is the one thing about India's shuttler, the young 22-year-old Lakshya Sen, that is getting everyone excited? And how has he lit up Paris Olympics? I'll tell you more about him and how he's evolved as a world beater, making it to the quarterfinals. From the young and fearless to the old and uber cool customers, but none quite like Türkiye's ace shooter. Internet has exploded as this 51-year-old in his 5th Olympics has triggered a worldwide meme fest. Why? Wait to know more. And what does it take monetarily to make it to Paris and be a part of something iconic like the Olympics? We bring you the story of how one fan spent $10,000 just to get there and catch the games, and how expensive is this desire. All of that lined up for you today, but first a look at the headlines in Sports 360. Starting with news from the Olympics and men's doubles tennis, 22-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal bowed out of the Paris Olympics. His campaign came to an end after he and Carlos Alcaraz lost in the quarterfinals. The Spaniards lost 2-6, 4-6 to their American counterparts of Rajiv Ram and Austin Krajicek. Moving to tennis singles, Serbia's Novak Djokovic reached the semi-quarterfinals. He defeated Germany's Dominik Kiefer 7-5, 6-3 in straight sets. Djokovic's next challenge is going to be a stiff one in world number 11, Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece. Over to football, Canada's women's team has reached the quarterfinals. They secured a 1-0 victory over Colombia. The Canadian women made it to the last 8 despite being handed a points penalty by FIFA. The team was punished for spying on New Zealand's practice session. Canada next faces Germany. In athletics, Britain's Alex Yee secured a dramatic gold in the men's triathlon event. He overtook New Zealand's Hayden Wilde in the final kilometre. The Briton managed to close a 14-second gap during the last stretch of the run. And India's Sathwik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty crashed out of the Olympics badminton doubles event despite winning the first game. The Indian duo lost to their Malaysian opponents in the quarterfinals. The match ended 13-21, 21-14, 21-16 in Malaysia's favour. India's campaign at the Olympics is beginning to take shape. If Manu Bakar provided the initial impetus, winning the first medal over the opening weekend, and then following it up with a historic second, then here's another young gun for you who's lit up the Olympics with his casual daredevilry. I mean, what is it with 22-year-olds showing the world how it's done? Lakshya Sen, playing his first Olympics at 22, it's a stage you can easily get overawed by, and then there were the murmurs of a tough draw. Group L is where he slotted in. That had some tough opponents, including a world number 3. Plus, of the 13 groups Lakshya Sen got drawn in, the one of only 2 which had 4 players instead of 3 was his. So the odds were heavily stacked against Sen even before the tournament began. And then the first group win against Kevin Cauldron got deleted. The win was scrapped because the Guatemalan player withdrew due to an injury, which meant every match from there on was a must-win, including the one against number 3 and All-England champion Jonatan Christie, a top contender at the Olympics. But yesterday, Lakshya Sen displayed all traits of the better, more confident player as he faced Christie. The same Christie who Lakshya had lost 4 out of 5 times to. First, it was the mind games. The 22-year-old Indian nails that. Let me tell you how. While everyone was talking of the importance of the toss being critical because you can pick the better half of the court, the one that is not slower. So you can gain initial control of the match. But what did Sen do? He chose the option to receive, did not choose which side of the court or even not choose to serve first. He chose to receive. So Christie chose the half of the court that everyone had been eyeing in these matchups. The message Lakshya Sen was giving, the court didn't matter. Whether he was serving or receiving first didn't matter either. He was telling his opponent that he will make sure he's the last man standing at the end of this match. The match started off with Christie taking the lead, and a big one at that, 8-2. And that's when Sen displayed another admirable trait of his that has set him way apart from the rest of his peers, even his compatriots, many older than him. He did not flinch. He did not show any worrying signs, no frowns. There was zero emotion on his face as he focused on how to cut down the gap. So he changed his game, went low and fast, shorter, quicker rallies, and the change of pace in the game plan paid off. Even as Christie tried to keep pace with Sen, it was too much to handle, and Sen was very good at targeting the body, something Christie was unable to maneuver around as well.
Even though Lakshya is young, but he's quite experienced. The last 2 years, he's been playing in the circuit. 2 years back, he played the All England final, and since then, not dropped very drastically. Only probably a couple of months in between, he had a patch where he lost a couple of first rounds. Otherwise, he's always made it to the quarters or above. He rises to the occasion, I would say, always. Actually, Lakshya and Prannoy. In men's singles, I would say both of them the dark horses. Lakshya is known to be beating any player on his given day.
You speak about Lakshya and Prannoy being the dark horses. Of course, only one of them has progressed in just a match that concluded a while back. Lakshya Sen got the better of his compatriot in an annihilation of sorts. Straight games there. But the moment that the world is raving about when it comes to Lakshya Sen is not his mental acumen, nor his astute gameplay, but a jaw-dropping trick shot that he played against Christie. Now look, I know this is nowhere near what many witnessed live, some of them watched live, nowhere close to the magical video, but this is what Lakshya Sen did. A no-look back flick from behind him that landed well enough on the other side to keep the point going. A point that Sen ended up winning because of a Christie error a few shots later. That super shot has given him many accolades, likening him to silver screen heroes. Lakshya Sen was asked about this crazy shot after the match by the BWF, and here's what he said.
That is something I didn't plan for. It just happened, and I'm happy that it went well. I've played it a few times in practice, but I wouldn't play it intentionally at that moment.
He says he wouldn't have played it intentionally ever, but what a stage to really choose to execute that in that spur of a moment to make that call and do it so well and win the point too. Lakshya can do no wrong, but the bigger takeaway from me over the last few matches is a couple of things. Game-wise, we've always seen the attacking mindset that Lakshya Sen displays. That's always been in his DNA. It's his trademark. But he's developed his defense game so strong, moving towards being a well-rounded player who can threaten the best, like he did his own compatriot HS Prannoy today, which is what resulted in him entering one of the most prestigious rounds in badminton. Because Lakshya Sen has proved that he's meant for the big stage. And one key reason why he's able to stay grounded despite all of this is, of course, his family. He still looks at his father for inputs as someone who's been a part of his journey from up close. He's been his coach as well for a while, and his mother who keeps him rooted. They're staying in a service apartment close to the badminton venue in Paris, in fact, and Lakshya has the luxury and the good fortune of getting home-cooked meals every day. So talk about having the most important people in your corner close by. When that is there, the world is waiting to be conquered, and he's just inching towards Olympic glory. Olympics, World Cups, all very special events. They do not come every year. They are a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the athletes, yes. But what about you, the fans? To be a part of history, wouldn't that be awesome? Especially when you're not living in the host country. Now, it's safe to say getting to an Olympics is like a pilgrimage for any sports fan out there. Coupled with the appeal of traveling to different countries and spending time in a city where the world's biggest athletes are present and around and about is exciting. But it doesn't come easy. A journey to make it to an Olympics, let's say Paris now, comes at a price, and quite a steep one. A superfan spent all of her life's savings to experience this. Vivian Robinson, who lives in Los Angeles in United States of America, spent $10,000 just on tickets to witness the Olympics in Paris. This included tickets to 38 sporting events and the opening ceremony. And here's the thing, this was her 7th Olympic experience, a bug that she caught first at home while watching the 1984 LA Olympics.
Did spend a lot of money, but it took me after the Rio Games, I saved for 8 years to be able to come to Paris. Little by little, saving up money, working 2 jobs. So the money didn't come easy. And I used a lot of my credit card. My credit cards are almost completely full. Well, you just can't be in a better place in the world. Just to be surrounded by athletes and tourists and monuments and just the fun of the games. It's a different feeling than any other normal day.
But truly, it takes quite a lot to just get there and experience something quite iconic. The $10,000 that Robinson spent is just for ticket prices for a collection of events. That is the only expense a local from Paris will have to bear. So that amounts to 9,200 euros then. But what if you aren't living in Paris, not even anywhere in France? What about someone like Robinson, who's traveling from LA? What would he or she have to bear? Now, the cheapest deal one can get if they are traveling from LA, of course, is a $600 return ticket. And if you're traveling from Asia and let's say India City, Mumbai, it would be somewhere around $1,000. And that's just the start. The Olympics usually lasts for 15 days. And given it's Paris, even the cheapest hotel would be around $200 a night. An escalated rate for the Olympics, of course, when hotels are filling fast. And maybe hostels is not an option for those traveling in groups or in families. So then depending on the duration of the stay, the rates increase. 1 week is about $1,500 and the whole duration, just double it. And add $100 more for travel and food every day, which is roughly around $1,500 for 15 days. And I'm chalking all of this up for a cost for one person. So in addition to the already $10,000 that's been spent for tickets and opening ceremony, an average individual will have to spend $5,500 on stay and travel around the city for 2 weeks. And I'm being a little generous here, less generous here. So to gain a decent Olympics experience, the cost is somewhere around $16,000 for one person. And I'm talking of a reasonable budget, which is quite expensive in any country. Now, it doesn't matter if you're traveling from the West or from Asia. This is a massive expense for one person to bear. But this is just for a decent experience. The super rich and the elite have a different package going on. It's reported that there are third-party packages worth $500,000 labeled ultra expensive. And what would this entail? The promoters claim it would allow you to meet athletes, give access to the athletes' games village, and of course have the chance to be part of the opening ceremony, not watch from the sidelines, but actually be part of it, mingle with it. This also includes tickets to many key finals at Paris Olympics. So clearly, to get the ultimate experience, you just need to empty your pockets. It took Robinson, someone like you or me, 8 years to save up for a decent, memorable experience in Paris to witness the games. So if you plan on catching an Olympics, you need to plan early, because going there just to catch a few days, a handful of events and finals, will that really suffice? Now, Olympics is the grand stage where the world watches you, where as an athlete representing your country, you can stitch your own narrative, a narrative that can create the image that your country will be associated with. Now, for a Türkiye athlete, that is quite a challenge, because when it comes to sports, Türkiye has committed quite many faux pas. Whether it's their football fans, brawling, or a club manager physically attacking a match referee. Matches getting abandoned because clubs decided to walk out, and yes, the differential treatment to their women athletes who travel economy as opposed to their male sporting colleagues. So you can understand the pressure on any athlete from Türkiye to carve out a positive image. The nation is basically known for controversies rather than victories. But one man has managed to turn things around for Türkiye, and he's doing it with some swag. Meet Türkiye's very own real agent 007, 51-year-old air pistol shooter Yusuf Dikec. Now, he won silver alongside his partner Seval İleyda Tarhan at the 10-meter air pistol mixed team event. Serbia pipped this Türkiye duo to clinch gold, but internet and the world is abuzz with talks of this shooter Yusuf. The reason? Not his exceptional shooting skills alone, though that is quite obviously what contributed to the pair pocketing silver. It's because of how he did it. Now, shooting is no casual sporting discipline. It requires gears, protective gears, certain accessories, requirements that the shooter wears while shooting. Well, while the other shooters were all properly strapped up, wearing proper gears, our man Yusuf was spotted just casually shooting, no protective gears. If he was caught walking about the games village, you wouldn't know he was an athlete. You wouldn't be able to tell, and it's not just that. Just the manner in which he eliminated his opponents one by one, walking up to his mark, sporting what could best be described as reading glasses, one hand holding up the pistol, the other casually in his pocket, and shooting bullseyes at will. His cool and cucumber shooting has broken the internet, triggering the hottest meme fest. The internet went gaga over this Olympic medalist, one of them saying in Olympic shooting they use equipment like a lens to avoid blur, a lens for better precision, ear protectors for noise. Then a Turkish guy comes along and wins silver with just a pair of glasses. Now, I mean, look at him. And then look at the other contestants. They are wearing all the equipment that you need to shoot. And what about Yusuf? The only gear he is wearing, of course, is confidence, and that was enough to bag them a silver. So who is Yusuf Dikec? Now, he's a national record holder in various pistol events in Türkiye, has won gold in 2011, ISSF World Cup, and 3 gold medals in 2013 European Championships in 3 events. He's a seasoned campaigner. This, in fact, has been his 5th Olympics, having first competed way back in 2008. Now, after all of those wins, only an Olympic medal was absent. And boy, did he make this win count. He's got everyone talking about him without winning the gold, but he's very nonchalant about it. Here's what he told the Turkish media post the silver.
I did not need special equipment. I'm a natural shooter. Success doesn't come with your hands in your pockets.
A natural shot indeed. Some joked that Türkiye had sent a secret spy to the Olympics. Well, if you can shoot that way, you very well could be one. Time for last serve. Now, the ceremonial lighting of the Cauldron gets its own spin at every edition. For example, in Atlanta 1996, the Cauldron was an artistic scroll decorated in red and gold. In 2000 Sydney Olympics, Kathy Freeman walked across a circular pool of water and ignited the Cauldron through the pool of water. Paris wants to be a trendsetter, of course. After displays through earth, water, they went for air, making it quite the experience for fans gathered at the Games. That wraps up Firstpost here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care.
Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsaf Parekh and here are the top stories of the day.